यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, wealth, health and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and your entire family members and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 4 of 7th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhumirapo Nalo Vayuhu Kham Mano Buddhirevacha Ahankara Iti Yamme Bhinna Prakriti Rashtadha. Bhagavan Krishna has begun from the last session itself to reveal the secret of Ishvara Swarupam. A layman who wants to understand the God, he goes to a temple. So when he goes to the temple has got so many layers like a praharas. The first is a huge prahara, then the small one, then smaller one and smallest one. Finally he finds there is a place called Sanctum Sanctorum, Garbhagraham. In that Garbhagraham only there is a darkness. So when he sees the darkness, so that darkness symbolizes what? He doesn't know. Then everybody was waiting. All mantras are being chanted. So when the mantras are being chanted, suddenly a person shows the lamps, Deeparadhana. In that Deeparadhana, so he can see a statue of Mahavishnu, Lord Mahavishnu. Then everybody says, "Oh, Namo Narayanaya, Namo Venkateshaya." So whatever the mantras are specified for that Murti, everybody, they shout, "Namo Narayanaya, Namo Narayanaya." And that person also says, "Oh, he is the God. He is the God." God means who? God means what? Why the concept of the God is needed, necessary to realize in our life? Because when you realize the God, it means that will help you to come out of all kinds of problems. And he goes to other temple and the same thing, so many praharas, so many systematics, and you have to stand in the queue to see the God. This is like if you are going to a company, if you want to meet the general manager, you are given a kind of appointment. You can go through the interview, or you have to go in a line. You have to go in order, one by one you can meet him. In the same way, here also there was a huge queue. Then he went and finally he could see the Sanctum Sanctorum. Again there is a darkness. Then Arati was shown. Now there is a female deity. Then he looks at, what is that? That female deity is known as Parashakti or Lalitambika or Kamakshi. So he could see that. So there the God was male and here the God is female. And he could see the similarity. Gods are having weapon. Why do they have the weapon? Confused. And he comes out. He says that, God, I see two gods. Then one person says, all is nonsense. There is no God in this universe. He also lives in the same city. This layman is from foreign country. he is not able to conclude what is God, because in their place God means something is different. They only see the Devaduta, the messenger of the God. They are messengers. There is no the concept of the God. So only in India we have the gods. In the temples there are so many rituals. All the rituals are spent. There every day there are yajnas. So many things are offered and they are converted into ash. Nothing is seen as the fruit. And Abhisheka is done. Abhisheka means, there are liters of milk. Dahi means curd. Not only curd, ghee is offered. Madhu, honey is offered. Even all kinds of the fruits are offered. So many flowers, so many tons of flowers are offered. So once it is offered, and it cannot be used again. So many expenditures are done on the name of the God. The layman becomes wonder. But one person says there is no God. That India has the place for both atheist and non-atheist. So when a person says there is a God, he has got systematic way of understanding about the God. When a person says there is no God, and he also has got systematic methodology to conclude, to arrive at a conclusion, there is no God. Now the life is between the belief of God, belief of no God. That is your choice to select, to conclude there is God or there is no God. But before concluding, you have the choices, options to study the scriptures which have been done on the side of believers of God, which have been done on the side of non-believers of God. Whether you say there is God or there is no God, this is completely personal matter. Don't make it as a social thing. This is a belief. This is a belief through which you will be nourished. You will be getting a growth. In order to get a complete spiritual growth, you have to depend on the scriptures. Now that person whom I was talking about, he goes to another temple. He goes to another temple. All the temple he visits this temple. And also, there is one more wonder he saw. The Lord Ganesha, who was worshipped in the haldi, turmeric powder, and he became so shocked. Even in darbha grass, it is worshipped. So he become mad. These people are, when your God is taking all kinds of incarnation, is it confusing or it is madness? So he was a good at soul. He sees that there is something kept behind all these rituals. Either these rituals are confusing the society or the rituals have some secret in it. Everyone who is born in India, we have the duty to understand the meaning of the rituals, not to condemn without studying. If you want to condemn, there is no God. If you want to take that side, you have to study. There is a study for it. We call it Nasti Vadaha, Nastika Vadaha. Nowadays there is no Nastikas. Nastikas means, Asti means exist. Na Asti means doesn't exist. A side of people, a group of people, are people who are endowed with a school of thoughts which says that there is no God. There is no God means the God doesn't exist according to the scriptures called Vedas. For that, they also have their own established educational system. But nowadays, nobody is aware about it, but they are known as Nastikavadi. No, Now there is no Nastikavadi at all. So there's all these people who say there is no God, they don't know the concept of the God or the concept of no God. The concept is well established. If you are a layman like that foreigner, you have to see what are the activities, rituals which are performed with lots of shraddha and faith. They fructify proper fruits. Now that's your choice. Why should you want to conclude there is God or there is no God? Because the individual growth, if you want to have the complete life, you have to study about the God. You have to come a conclusion about the God. Without coming the conclusion of the God, if you continue the life, you can survive the life, but confusion won't go away, because the society is constructed either on the belief of the God or non-belief of the God. Now, what is your conclusion, Swamiji? If you want to know about my conclusion, my question is, so what is the purpose that you are asking me? Let me know the purpose, then I will tell you. If you are asking about my personal things, I need not to reveal. If I believe the God, if I not believe the God, doesn't matter, I need not to reveal it. That is what my answer. But for me, the life is nothing but God. The world is nothing but God. The time and space, everything is nothing but God. You are nothing but God. I am nothing but God. The conversation is nothing but God. Everything is nothing but God. In other words, what exists is God alone. What you say is, I think you are talking about godliness. Godliness is nothing but God. What is the problem to accept it? No, the problem is I am not able to understand. If that is the case, you have to make the proper effort. You should not confuse yourself. And you need not to confuse others. That's the effort here. Krishna, he gives a solid method to realize the God. So God, if you want to look for God, where to get it? Because when there is a part, as I told you in the last session, when there is a part, there must be a part maker. The first understanding of Ishvara as the creator, that is the first understanding. Now all the temples, the rituals, and put together as the ritual belong to temple and ritual outside of the temples, and there are the rituals belongs to the families, Kula Dharma we call it. Every family in India, they are considered the lineage of the rishis. Therefore we are, every one of us, we have our own gotra. Vasishtha Gotra, Vishwamitra Gotra, Atri Gotra, and Kashyapa Gotra. So many Gotras, because we are nothing but the lineage of rishis. And every rishi, they have their own deity, Kula Devata. That deity has got a specific puja methodology. Then that method also followed by a family. Therefore, there are rituals in the temples, there are rituals outside of temples, there are rituals which exist in the families. All of them are constructed in a proper way by our rishis. We have to understand it thoroughly, gradually, slowly, without any confusion. Therefore, Sri Krishna, he begins from the bottom of it, from the foundation of the construction of the God or God concept. He brings from the bottom. He says, my dear, so the Ishvara Swarupam, there are two kinds of principles. One principle is known as Para Prakriti, Another principle is known as apara prakriti. Now in this verse, in the fourth verse, he has not spoken about para prakriti. Only he uses the word prakriti. Prakriti means here apara. Apara means the lower prakriti, the lower principle of Ishvara. Now Ishvara means it's a common word. This Ishvara word you can find only in the Upanishads. Therefore, I told in the last class, Krishna is talking from the Upanishad alone. He is not bringing anything from his head. Krishna doesn't say in any place this philosophy is my own philosophy. No, this is Upanishad teaching. This Upanishadic teaching to be absorbed with the background of Upanishadic knowledge alone. Therefore, the duty of Guru is here to bring some Upanishadic teachings. Therefore, I told if there is a product, that product has got two kinds of causes. Any product you take, the first one is upadana karanam, material cause. The second one is nimitta karanam, which is known as intelligent cause. If there is a pot has two causes. The upadana karanam, I mean material cause is the clay, and nimitta karanam, intelligent cause. That intelligent cause is the pot maker, the wheel, stake, water. So many intelligent causes can be. If there is a pot, there must be a pot maker. Okay, like that, if I want to know about the God is invisible. Because our sense organs, they don't have the capacity to see the God, to understand the God, so that we have to dig the world. Even science also does the same. We have to analyze. We have to analyze means what? We have to do inquiry on that which is visible. So visible is nothing but creation. Now we conclude in the beginning there is a world. If I ask you, is there world? You will say yes. So what and all is there in the world? You would say that I don't know, but there is a world. The world in our perception is very short, because world is beyond our limit of measurement, isn't it? But Upanishad also introduce, all the Upanishads, they introduce the world and how it is created. That creation also happened not immediately at once. There is a sequence. There are the process. That process also must be revealed. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about it. Even Purusha Sukta talks about it. Narayana Upanishad talks about it. All the Upanishads, they have to, because not all the Upanishads are complete Upanishads, like a Taittiriya Upanishad, Narayana Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad. These Upanishads are known as a complete Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad. All these Upanishads, they reveal the secret of creation. How this world is created, like how the pot is created. The pot should have two kinds of causes, like that the world also should have the two kinds of causes. The pot has the materialist cause. This material cause is nothing but clay. Like world, what kind of material cause that world consists? We have to conclude. If at all world has got material cause, then where it comes from? Because it doesn't seem to be one material cause, so many materials, because I can have the difference. And what can be the nimitta karanam, intelligent cause? In the last session itself, I clarified. So God is the cause of both. Means the God is the person who is nothing but nimitta karanam and upadana karanam. In Sanskrit we call it abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Sometimes you cannot bring in English because any language it has got the limitation. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Abhinna means so the both causes belongs to same person. Ishvara is the abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. So here in the part case, this part has the material cause is clay. The clay is different than the nimitta karanam, the pot maker. But here it is no bhinnam. The both cause belongs to same person. Therefore, abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. The world has got material cause and intelligent cause. Both are one and the same, called Ishvara. The example is spider. Yathornana bhisrijate grannate cha. The mantra from Upanishad. I suppose Mundakopanishad. It talks very elaborately abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Now first we have to confirm the world, does it exist or not? Yes, world is. And when you accept a world is, there must be somebody who created it, or there must be some power who created or which created it. Now what is that power? And this world has got two kinds of causes. That's what the creator. Now the God is introduced as the creator first. That is the beginning level. You have to understand God is a creator. So this is in the beginning level. Okay. Therefore, the creator has got two capacity because he can be both causes, nimitta and upadana karana. Now in this verse, he introduces God has got two kinds of principles, para prakriti and apara prakriti. Prakriti means the world, the creation, that which is created. That creation had happened first as a five elemental world and three more principles. We saw bhumihi, apaha, analaha, vayuhu, kham, manaha, buddhi, ahankara. This eightfold apara prakriti is known as lower principle of Ishvara. And one more prakriti which is yet to be introduced in the next verse is known as para prakriti. That is also known as the Ishvara Swarupam. 8 plus 1, there are 9 principles which belong to Ishvara. And these 9 principles, why I have been introduced here. And also you should be aware the difference between these two prakritis. That I will reveal in the next class. But before that, this prakriti concept is the beautiful concept for one who wants to understand about Ishvara. Doing inquiry on the visible world, it is easier. So whether you trust or not, you have faith on Lord or not, if you undergo this teaching, definitely you will be very clear about the concept which is known as God concept. That will help a lot you to come about or come into a conclusion from where your life will be flourished. So once you understand the God concept, you can see everything is God. The life, every second of life will become a magic wonder and no sorrow thereafter. So no samsara. It's a very big thing. We have just begun to explore ourselves to the God concept. We will continue from next episode tomorrow. Harihi Om. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ